Hey guys, it's Christopher Balmaceda here with Keller Williams Realty Professional Partners, and wanted to make a quick little video to talk to you guys about a post I had made on Facebook last week regarding for sale by owners versus realtors and why it's beneficial to have a realtor represent you when listing your home. Two reasons why I want to make this video. One, because if you're anything like me, you hate to read, which means you get bored very quickly when reading, which means you don't obtain the information you wanted to get in the first place because you stop reading. So having somebody share information like this with you in a video is beneficial to you because you can obtain the information you want and don't get bored, hopefully. Also, too, I wanted to dive further into the benefits of why a realtor is beneficial to you when listing your home beyond just making more money. I wanted to discuss kind of further into why their knowledge and expertise and the ability to handle things on the back end of the process is beneficial to you as well. And I bring this up because this actually just happened to me recently, where a gentleman came into my office doing a for sale by owner thing, and I came to find that I was not actually going to be able to make this gentleman more money. Reason being is because unfortunately this gentleman had listed his home for about $30,000 to $40,000 more than it was worth based off the market value. Now you may ask, how is there so much of a discrepancy? Well, understand, as a realtor, I have gone through several courses to learn how appraisers evaluate, how they do their percentages, their adjustments and things like that to value your home, as well as just experience in the field. Being able to do comparative market analysis analyses, whatever the word is, on the MLS has allowed me the ability to figure out how to fit your home into a certain criteria to value it correctly. Unfortunately for this gentleman that I met with yesterday and talked to, he doesn't have that available to him. He's selling it based off what he's finding on third-party websites, and I know this because that's what he shared with me. He's gone to websites like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and things like that to figure out what his home is worth. And essentially, I did the same thing because I wanted to see what he was looking at. And what I found was that he's looking at homes that are in his community but don't match the same criteria as his home. You have to understand that when an appraiser is going to value your home, there's a certain criterion box that you have to fit in. You can only have plus or minus so much in square footage. You cannot take a 2,000 square foot home and compare it to a 3,500 square foot home. You can't just take price per square foot and make that your valuation on the home, because a home that's smaller than you is likely going to have a higher price per square foot, whereas a home that's larger than you is going to have a smaller price per square foot. Reason being, as square footage goes down, typically the price per square goes up, and as square footage goes up, price per square goes down. Not always, but on average. You also have to take into account what are the updates you have in your home, what are the updates the other home has in it, what are some things like location that may affect you. Do you back a main road? Do you front a main road? Do you back a golf course, a green belt? Are you located close to a busy road? All these things are going to take into account, and you got to understand that adjustments have to be made on your value based off these things. You're going to get a credit or you're going to get a devaluation depending on what it is. And it's not just a dollar amount. It's not just a figure like $1,000 here for this or that. There's percentages that are calculated into it as well, and based off what it is and based off the value of the home determines the percentage that's going to be added or decreased from your value. This is where having a realtor represent you becomes so important, because if you overvalue your home, while you may eventually sell for that, you got to understand that 3 to 4 weeks into this process, the appraiser is going to walk in your house and he has to see and determine that the value is what you're under contract for. Even if you had a buyer say that, yes, that's what I want to buy your house for, the appraiser may not see that way when they evaluate your home. And the problem you run into at that point is you're already so far into this, you're thinking you're at the finish line, you're getting ready to close, and then the appraiser comes in and says, hey, you're worth $30,000 less than what you're under contract for. Which now means your buyer, who is more than likely represented by a buyer agent, is going to come to you and say, we're not paying $30,000 more for a home that's not worth that. And now you're renegotiating and you're back into a process trying to figure out how are you going to make this work. And unfortunately, you may end up losing the deal, which means if you've bought another home, you're in a situation now where that might fall through as well because you're not closing on your home the way you expected to. So this becomes a domino effect, and this is why it's so important to have your home valued correctly. And this is why it's so important, beyond making more money, to have a realtor involved in listing your home. Because while you see us for 30 minutes to an hour on the front end doing paperwork and helping you through this process, there's so much more on the back end that we're doing hourly and daily to make sure that the transaction continues to move forward and things happen so that you don't have to worry about these things. And I will tell you that if you know what your realtor is doing on the back end, then they're probably not doing as great of a job as you would hope, because you shouldn't know these things unless it's stuff that should be brought to your attention. Anyways, that's my spiel. I hope you guys got some information from what I'm sharing with you now. I hope you got some value out of it. If you guys have any questions for me, or maybe you just want a free market analysis on the value of your home, please give me a call, shoot me a text at 623-693-5667. You can email me at cbalmaceda@kw.com, or comment on the post or direct message me here on Facebook, whatever's easiest for you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching the video. We'll talk to you guys soon. And remember, as always, you're more than a transaction.